Retro gaming can be a very expensive hobby, and there are hundreds of ways you can play them, but only one true way in my opinion, and that is the original cartridge on the original system. And that's why I have a Mega Drive collection. I want all of the games I used to play as a child, and the ones that I missed out on because I was too obsessed with FIFA 96, for example. And when I picked up my PS Vita not that long ago, I started dabbling with emulation. I was downloading games that, yes, I already own, but those that I hadn't yet played, in order to see whether I liked them enough to go out and buy them. But there are other ways to do it, of course. You can buy little systems that have all the games preloaded, and some of them run well, some of them maybe not so much, but there are definitely very easy ways to get into playing these retro games without owning the original cartridge. But I'm going to test something out today that I've never done before. I am going to plug in a retro video games console that has been kindly provided to me by Kinhank. Here is the package. I haven't opened it yet, as you can see. It's all still sealed. Yes, this is a technically sponsored video, I guess, but they've just sent me this for review. I am under absolutely no obligation to give this a good review, and to be quite fair, I do see myself slagging this off a fair bit. However, I am going to try and go into this with an open mind and see whether buying one of these is actually worth your time, effort, and of course, money. And here it is. Now, this is the X2 Pro Super Console, which means, of course, it is as powerful as a PlayStation 5. I am, of course, joking. I have absolutely no idea what this is all about, so let's get it open and see what you get. Now, this, I think, retails for around 55 quid on the website link that they've given me. The website link is an AliExpress link. Read into that what you will, of course. I am struggling to get this off. There you go, that's gone. So in the bottom of the box we do have two what look like PlayStation controllers. Of course, they are the lightest things you've ever felt, and they do have a little rattle, which means I'm assuming that they do have little dongles. They do indeed. So you do need AAA batteries to go into the back of them. We get that little dongle, guessing it's going to hook up, and yeah, feels alright, to be fair. I mean, it's really, really light, but it's just mad that they can... I mean, that is the exact same as a PlayStation controller. Of course, the buttons are different and everything, but the shape of it is identical, which is crazy. How do they get away with these things? A 4 gig memory card. What else do we have in here? A remote, which I guess is for if you want to use it for streaming, because you can use this for like Netflix and all the rest of it. And then, of course, the console itself, this massive beast of a machine. It's wrapped in plastic. There is a little, I don't know, what is it, like a warranty thing over the pre-existing memory card. Why they give you two memory cards, I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's so that you can have something to preload your own emulators on. I really don't know. But it to be fair, it is branded with like X2, where am I going? X2 Pro and all that stuff. So it's not just like a generic box. It does have the Kinhank Super Console 2 nonsense written on the back there, and yeah, it's just the most basic of little boxes with a little off and on button on the back of it. But the thing about this, of course, is that it runs retro games, right? So I'm not going to waffle anymore. I'm going to plug it in and we're going to see exactly what this thing offers. So very, very simple. I've just plugged it in with the power, hooked up a HDMI, and this is the screen. But as you can see in the bottom left, possibly, maybe not, but I'll tell you anyway, 107,799 games. That's a lot of games. I would imagine a lot of those are going to be duplicated, and I would imagine maybe 30 to 40% of them are games that you're probably never going to want to touch. This is the main screen. It says all games, so I can just click this and go into every single game that's on here, but I don't want to do that. So let's just scroll down and see what consoles are on here. So we have 256 games for the N64. We'll have a look at those in just a second. Game Boy Color, which will be interesting. Game Boy Advance. Nintendo DS. How would that even work? What I really want, though, not the Master System, the Mega Drive. There we go. So that isn't the Mega Drive I'm used to. 500 games, it says. The Genesis, which of course will give us loads of the US releases. That is 1,685 games. The Sega Game Gear, which is fantastic. Used to love mine as a kid. 497 games. But this is the bad boy that I want. The Sega Mega Drive, 2,114 games. So some original PlayStation games, and I say some, 655. PSP games as well, which is quite surprising. 283, not too bad. And then you go back up to all games. The controller works fine, by the way. The controller's actually really responsive. So we have a whole host of Mega Drive games. Now, this is an absolute banger. They do have the original Road Rash on here. They do have Road Rash 2, and they have Road Rash 3. So all of them that were ever released on the original Mega Drive. They even have the Japanese releases of these. Another game I've just noticed up there that not many would be interested in, but FIFA 98 Road to the World Cup is actually a pretty expensive game on the Mega Drive because it arrived very late in the life cycle, so that would be pretty cool to test out. But I am going to give Road Rash 3 a go. Let's just press the button here and see if we can go straight in, which we can. I have turned the volume off for this. Small splash screen. I'm just going to let it run, by the way, and you're going to see how long it takes for this to actually start playing. So it says Xbox 360 pad configuration. We do have borders either side because of course it is a 16:9 ratio. This TV is obviously a 42-inch. So there we go. I mean, it loads straight in, and to my like naked eye, if you will, and I don't have the volume on as I said, so I don't know what that's going to be like, but that looks pretty good. I don't know if I do need to press a button. So it had already loaded. That looks fantastic. Even on this TV, I don't know what an actual Mega Drive would look like if I plugged it in. But let's just go to start race. Let's not even bother with anything else. And let's just get going, I guess. I do prefer, and the analog sticks does work, the D-pad works as well. I do prefer like playing on a CRT. I won't lie to you, playing like retro games on a big sort of widescreen doesn't really do it for me. But to be fair, and I do have to be fair, this is not bad at all. I would be more than happy to sit here for, you know, an hour a day playing some of these games. And I knew this was going to happen. Like, it's not a bad experience. If you just want a quick bash of some of these games, maybe you don't own them, maybe you can't afford to go out and buy the original games, because let's be fair, right? Oh, hey, I just grabbed a baseball bat. Not everyone, a club I think it's called, is going to be able to afford to go out and start collecting retro video games, especially with the prices of some of these games. Like Road Rash 3 isn't like super expensive or anything, but it's not really cheap. You know, it's not like a £5 game. It is going to cost you a fair bit. So if you go out and buy Road Rash 3, and then you go out and buy that FIFA 98, for example, all of a sudden, you've spent exactly what the Kin Hank costs. So it's like you can go and get the Kin Hank and just play this, and just have a quick bash on some random games. You don't have to get up and change the cartridge. You don't have to worry about the cartridge working. The emulation is actually pretty good from what I can tell. And you could absolutely find a way to get this to connect to a CRT. I'm almost certain of it. But yeah, this works perfectly fine. Big fan of this. Let's just quit out of this now and see what other games are on there and how well they play, because I'm sure there's going to be something that I don't like about it. I'll be honest, I cannot believe how quick that loaded in. It was just as quick as the Mega Drive game. I had to create a profile and everything, but you know, that was basically it. There's no fancy borders on this one. We do have a 16:9 ratio, but there is no sort of Dreamcast background. We're going to pick Axel because, I mean, who doesn't pick Axel, right? And there we go. So it looks... Oh, I'm going into reverse already here. So hang on, the controls are going to be different. The Dreamcast was a very complicated machine, right? So the controllers are going to be a bit weird. That is something I think I'm probably going to discover when it comes to games like the systems like the N64. The controller is going to play a big part in whether this is actually going to be usable or not, because the N64 controller is a bit of a mess. Like, don't get me wrong, I like it and everything, but it's not comparable to a PlayStation controller, right? So I think it's going to be a case of, will it work, won't it work? You're going to have to persevere with the buttons and things, which is not ideal. Can we move, please? Let's go. I'm trying. Yeah, this works. You know, I don't really know what to say, because these games are functional, and I don't know if the experience would be that much different if I had the original. I don't know for certain, but I would imagine that the PlayStation is going to be the limit of what this thing can do. So I'm going to go in to a game here, and I'm going to see how well it holds up. So we do have GTA, the original, which is arguably still the best GTA game ever made, if you don't include the third one, because let's be honest, everyone loves that one. GTA 2, which I never really was a fan of, to be fair. They all look like... The cars look like Beetles, let's be fair to each other. But I'm going to play my favourite PlayStation game ever, and that is Gran Turismo. So we do have the 16:9 ratio again, which is absolutely no surprise, and it's not a problem. The PlayStation background on either side is nice. I did miss that with the Crazy Taxi one, so I don't know why. It doesn't really add anything. It sort of fills the screen. This is Russian, so okay. So there's no English option here. I have Russian, French, German and Italian with some Espanol at the bottom. Let's go for French because I can speak more French than I can anything else. Oh, we got Russian anyway. Fantastic. I'm guessing that means race. I mean, why wouldn't it, right? So, okay, this is a problem. No idea what that says. I have loaded ISS 2000. I know a lot of the purists out there won't enjoy this. I mean, to be fair, let's be honest. If you're a purist, you're not enjoying this experience, and I don't know why you're still watching. But I wanted to test a PlayStation game. I gave up on Gran Turismo. I don't speak Russian, assuming that's what it is. So I've gone to ISS because I know how this should play. But at the moment, this thing is dead silent. I can't hear it, and I don't expect to be able to hear it either unless this thing completely dies on me. But playing on a PlayStation controller with a PlayStation emulation machine, I guess, is it feels right. Okay, well, apparently I've forgotten the buttons. I'm doing skills. I actually want to try and pass this thing. Oh, okay. Well, apparently I'm not very good at ISS. But my point is, this thing's working fine. I mean, I think I got the ball there. Yapstam wasn't exactly known for clean challenges, but at the same time, I did get the ball there, didn't I? I won't lie to you. I'm enjoying it, right? Do I prefer the original way to play these games? Absolutely. Am I going to now change to say, well, yeah, you know, the original way is definitely the best, but I'm going to keep this and I'm going to be playing all my games on it? No, not so much. I will probably look to play and test out some games on this Kinhank, if you will. But I genuinely, I was expecting to be Yapstam is absolute liability. I was expecting to be slagging this off and say, no, I don't like this doesn't work, and this doesn't work, and that doesn't work. To be fair, I don't have a problem with it. I don't agree with it necessarily, because let's be honest, at the end of the day, this is all sort of a very grey area with legality and things. But at the same time, if you are a physical collector, that is horrific. If you are a physical collector like myself, and you are actually going to use this for almost research and development purposes, then is it really the end of the world? I get zero kickback if you go and buy one of these things, so whether you do or you don't makes no odds to me. I couldn't care less. The link is in the description because that's part of the review, so if you want to go check it out, feel free to do so. If you don't, that's fine as well. Like I said, makes no difference to me. I'd love to say that I've got a discount code. Unfortunately, they didn't give me one. So the price is 55 quid and that's it, unfortunately. I'm sure many of you have had experiences with these kind of things. So let me know in the comments whether you have one, whether you use one regularly, or whether you are actually thinking about now buying one. You don't have to go to Kinhank to get it, of course. I'm sure there are plenty elsewhere that you could go and check out. But in terms of this one, it worked. It's quiet. It's not a terrible design. I got on with it well enough. So there you go, there's my endorsement, if you will. But, you know, you do you at the end of the day. If you want to check out another video from me where I do something just a little bit more exciting, you can click here. And until the next time, goodbye.